Senator Barack Obama is now the first black president of the United States. Now, I know we didn't want to talk about the race issue before the elections. Now, since it's official, I talked to members of the African American Society and asked them the question, how do you feel of having a person of color in the White House?
Me as a black man, I obviously will be pretty proud of this. And not only proud as just a black man, but also proud of the country moving forward from its ugly history, to be honest. Moving forward, basically, and if my children or the next generation seeing that there was a black president, they could see that as just something that's common, something that happens, which is amazing for people who weren't even able to vote like only 40 years ago, let alone have an actual black president. So I think making it at least something that could be normalized, that there could be a person of color being a president of the United States of America.
Well, speaking from an African-American standpoint, Barack Obama being the first black president, I think will do wonders for our community. I mean, just as a kid growing up, seeing somebody that looks like you, that talks like you, that's just gonna do wonders for our community. I mean, young kids growing up are gonna be like, wow, I can be president now, which is something that definitely didn't exist when I was a kid. I never thought that a black man could be president. So Barack Obama as president, I think, will do wonders for our youth as African Americans growing up. Crime rates will go down, and it will really bring about the change that we need in this country.
First black president in a position of power, I'd say that it's really important. You know, it seems that we're getting heading in the right direction finally. You know, it took a long time for us to get to this, but you know, of course, having a black president is going to advance a lot of things for us. You know, in terms of even just employment and all the way down to get better positions of power. But you know, I think it's going to be a great improvement, you know, in our government and in just a black community in general.
I think that it's a great thing because now that I see someone that looks like me up there, I'm actually more interested in what they have to say. And it actually got me to actually follow the whole running presidential election and whatnot, and from the primaries to now and the whole Hillary Clinton, all the whole things like that. So having Barack Obama up there just gets me more interested in what's going on and how my future is going to play out with him being president or with McCain supposedly was going to be president. So having him up there just gives me more perspective on what I need to look at and what I actually need to focus on for my future.
I think it's going to be good that we're going to have a black president because it represents change, and that's what Obama's representing right now. I think that's what we need in this country because we see so much of the same thing, and I think just having a black president would just be better. It represents something else, something different that we can try out. You know, and I think it'd be for the best.
Well, you know what? It's funny when you ask this question. I really think, you know, you always get the saying that a black person you can actually do anything that you want. But when you've seen this actually play out in real life, seeing Barack Obama as president, you kind of feel it inside that, you know what, truly I can do anything I want. You know, you got great leaders. You got our Governor Deval Patrick, who's black, and now we have our president, who's African American. It just feels prideful as a black person myself that I truly can do anything that I want. It's not just a cliche, it's actually real. You know, this is a sensitive issue, but we have to put it out there. Barack Obama is not full black. He's half white and half black. I talked to the African American Club again, and some people think him being the first black president might be tainted.
A little bit. I say it's tainted because, you know, it's not fully African American, but in the same instance, you know, we need our foot in the door. So it's better to have him, you know, technically be African American, even though he is half, but he still is technically African American. So, you know, it taints it in a way, but I still think that it's being brought out the proper way.
You know what? I don't feel like it's tainted because he's half white, half black. Here's why. I think Barack Obama, his wife is black, his kids are black, so it almost solidifies that, you know what, he actually is truly, you know, a black person. I know, you know, we're always talking about this. If you're walking in the middle of the night or 1 o'clock in the morning with a hoodie, you're going to be seen as a black person. You're not going to be seen as, you know what, he's half white, half black, so, you know, we're not going to racially profile him. He's going to be looked at as an African American or a black male. I think that's what solidifies him. You know what, he's a black president. He's the first legit black president we're ever going to have. So I don't think, consider him being half white and half black plays a huge part because his wife is black, his kids are black, and you know, if you have one drop of black on you in this society, you're considered black.
I mean, at this point, I really don't think it's tainted. I think I think even though he's half white, half black, and he's not fully black, it's not. I don't think it's that much of a big deal because it's still something different than what we've been used to, what we've had for a while. So I think him being tainted or whatever people are saying, him being half white, half black, I don't think it really makes that much of a difference because it's still a change, and it's still going to be, to me personally, I still think it's going to be the first black president. So.
I think not necessarily tainted, but I think it's good that someone mixed race, half black, half white, immigrant, family of immigrants moving Hawaii, Indonesia, what have you. So I really believe that he's a perfect fit for America because America is, becoming more diverse, more interracial couples. I don't see it tainted.
And I really don't think so because just the fact that somebody that looks different from all of our usual presidents is someone that doesn't look like the typical Anglo-Saxon white male is just enough and a step in the right direction. I mean, presidential running for Bobby Kennedy when he was running, he said when he was Attorney General that in 40 years this country is going to progress to the fact of having a black president, and he said that in 1968, and it's now 2008, 40 years later.
Barack Obama being half white and half black is really something that I don't think that we should, it's not that big of a deal to me. The fact that he's actually black in the first place is a bigger deal to me because all of our previous presidents, they were all white, like full, you know what I mean? And to have someone that's actually half black up there is greater than anything to me. That the half black, half white thing has nothing to do with it in my perspective.
Barack Obama may be half white, half black. The underlying theme is, America has made progress of electing someone of color in the White House. In the words of the great Tupac, it's time to make a change. Let's change the way we eat. Let's change the way we live. Let's change the way we treat each other. And hopefully Barack Obama could carry the torch that many African Americans did, such as Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, Malcolm X, and hopefully light up a little torch in our country called the United States of America. Remember what Barack Obama said, Barack Hussein Obama, a person coming from an immigrant parent, his father from Kenya, and his mother being very poor in Kansas City, this is the only country where this story could happen. A young black kid who's half white, half black, poor, now being the leader of our country.